Hi friends, today is January 12th and it is Tuesday of the first week of Ordinary Time. When I read today's first reading, I was reminded of something that happened just a couple weeks after my daughter Carol was born. A few friends of mine were getting together for coffee one morning and I excitedly dressed the new baby and went to my friend's home to join them. One of the women who was there was a woman who didn't have any children of her own, and she was so excited to hold the new baby. And I remember placing the baby in her arms, and she just stared at her face, and she said this to me. She said, "Have you ever heard that Jewish legend that before a baby is born, God whispers all the secrets of life, some say the entire spirit of the Torah, into the baby. Then God touches the baby's philtrum. It's that tiny space below our nose that's often so pronounced in babies. And he says, shh." I can remember thinking later on, baby, what did God tell you? And will you always remember it? And then placing my own hand there and thinking, what did God tell me? And do I always remember it? Today's first reading is from the letter to the Hebrews. The author of this letter is unclear, but it seems that some members of the community were giving up on their faith after a period of persecution. The letter encourages the community to be strong in their faith. The author tried to teach that Jesus was both divine and human, and the saving power of his sacrificial death. In today's reading, Jesus is presented as God's Son who now sits at God's right hand. At the same time, he's fully human, who suffered. He was someone who walked in our shoes. This is the part of the reading that struck me today. For it was fitting that he, for whom and through whom all things exist, in bringing many children to glory, should make the leader to their salvation perfect through suffering. He who consecrates and those who are being consecrated all have one origin. Therefore he is not ashamed to call them brothers, saying, I will proclaim your name to my brethren. In the midst of the assembly, I will praise you. In God becoming human, Jesus showed his at-oneness with and for humanity, even to the point of suffering and death. What amazing love that is. The reading says that in this way, Jesus can call all those who he consecrates or he blesses his brothers and his sisters because he shared in their very life. He lifts them up to this divine relationship with him. Brothers and sisters, children of God. What does that say about our humanity? To me, it says that there's a holiness to us. When we look at ourselves and at each other, we see holiness. We see our innate goodness as children of God. God sent his Son to be one of us, and we're one of his children. We can call ourselves brothers and sisters of Jesus, brothers and sisters to each other. Ever since I heard that story that my friend told me, I love to notice people's face and remember God's touch to them. It's a reminder that each person is a beloved child of God. Each and every person has dignity and worth. And is beloved by God. There's a holiness that connects us all and allows us to truly call each other members of God's family. You know, I'm always grateful to my friend for sharing that little story that stuck with me for so long, because it always reminds me to think about how much God loves me, enough to whisper the secrets of the world to me, enough to send his Son, enough to always be with us. And it reminds me that this love is for all of humankind. Maybe our task today is to think about God's love for us and what that means, and to reflect on how we can remind others of God's love and care for them. That's what I have for today. I hope your day is a good one, and until I see you again, I wish you peace.